We get a lot of questions about how to protect a new or existing business. We get a lot of questions about trademark. We get a lot of questions about copyright registration. We also get a lot of questions about contracts. Very often it can be difficult for our clients to navigate some of the complex negotiations that go into podcast deals, book deals, film deals, music recording contracts, etc. It is really my pleasure to work with all of you who hire us to help protect your legal interests when you're taking these big steps in your career. Now, this particular video is going to focus on how to start a new business or how to register an existing one. Potential clients and actual clients who have either started a business and never really took the steps to register that business at the state level where they live or where their principal place of business is. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. Folks who want to start a new business but don't really know how, what are the steps and how do you do that? So my goal with this video is just to kind of demystify some of those steps and to also show you the value of having an attorney help you with these very important legal transactions. So let's start with how to register a business. Why register a business? Generally, folks that we work with are interested in two business entities. That is the LLC or limited liability company, or they're interested in forming an S Corp, which is a subchapter S corporation. Both of these entities are very similar, but some have more administrative responsibilities than the other. For the clients that we work with, they often find that the limited liability company gives them the best of both worlds. For tax purposes, for example, you are treated as a sole proprietor. So you only have to file income taxes once. You can track and log expenses and deduct those at tax time. So it can be a very financially savvy decision for most small business owners. And also, LLCs are not as administratively burdensome, meaning there's not as much paperwork as there is when you have a corporation. When you have a corporation, you have to have meetings, you have to have bylaws, you have to have minutes of those meetings. There is voting that has to happen. There's a lot of kind of intricacies that you don't have to worry about when you're an LLC. So generally, the first step is we will run a search on the name of your business and try to figure out if that business name is taken or not. This is also a good time to run a search on your brand name. The saddest thing when we have clients that have already launched a product or service and have an existing business is that we run a search and their brand name is already registered or their business name is not available and they have very strong emotional attachments to those names. When you speak to the attorney, you can ask and pay them to do a search, which would be a little more in depth. If the name is available for business registration, there is a process by which the Department of State will let us apply to form the LLC. Now, this is usually an electronic application, and in very rare instances, there is still a paper process. So at this point, the next step would be to get you a federal ID number. And we do this going directly on the irs.gov website. We complete the form. We enter your industry code or number as applicable. And we are able to get you a confirmation letter that has your new federal ID number. And now your business has its own social security number. When you enter a lease, when you open a business banking account, when you apply for a credit card, when you hire people and they ask you for your tax information, your business, right? When the business is doing these activities, it's going to have its own ID number and it's going to pay its own taxes and its own bills. So that's why this federal tax ID number is very important. It's basically going to be the identification number for your business. Many people come to me and say, I'm a sole proprietor. I've been a sole proprietor for years. Why change now? Why become an LLC? Why should I invest money to do this? If you're a sole proprietor and you are happy with the size of your business and the way that your business has been operating and you don't feel that anything needs to change, That's wonderful. And you shouldn't change or do anything unless you are ready to. And please don't let anyone pressure you into taking a step that you're not ready to take. It's very important that you take these steps when you are well informed. When you have a business, we want to make sure that you, the business owner, are protected and have a barrier from liability, right? Because your business is going to be interacting and providing goods and services to a consumer base at large. If there are accidents, if there are issues or disputes, anything that could bring you in the purview of, God forbid, a lawsuit or a dispute gone wrong, and we don't want our personal assets to be able to be breached in the case of losing a dispute or finding that the business cannot afford to pay a certain amount of damages, so now they can come after, your home, your car, or any other valuables. So when you form a business, it's very important that the business be treated as a separate entity, because it is. You are you and your business is your business. And you may work for your business or you may run your business, but your business in the eyes of the law is a separate legal entity. So we want to treat it as such and we want to respect it. Generally, if a business can't pay its bills, if it has outstanding credit cards or, taxes, generally those liabilities and debts belong to the business. They don't belong to you personally. Another good reason is if you're a veteran-owned business or a minority-owned business or a women-owned business like we are, if you want to apply for some of these loan programs or if you want to apply for a commercial loan with a bank, there are certain documents or grants. That's another real big one, right? Grants are monies that you generally don't have to pay back, but these organizations want to see that you've taken the legal steps, that you've done your due diligence to organize your business, and that you are an official business entity, that you have a good track record, that you have been able to set up certain systems, right? Business banking, you have good credit, you've had loans in the past and you've been able to pay them off, you have a lease, you have whatever it is, but it starts with formation, right? It starts with registration. If you have any other questions or if there's something that I did not answer in this video, please feel free to put your question in the comments. You can also visit our website at www.galvisandcompany.com. You can also reach us by email at info@galvisandcompany.com. Thank you for listening. I just want to add a quick disclaimer that just because you're watching this video, this is not legal advice. This is for educational purposes only. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe.